What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 124, and we start today's episode for our Champions League round of 16 first leg tie here against Sevilla at the San Siro, coming on the back of that 2-0 victory against Udinese in the Serie A in the last game in the last episode. That game featured two fantastic goals, first through Ryan Thaler and then Mastor's fantastic rainbow flick into volley over a defender. That was absolutely glorious. But coming to this game here against Sevilla in the Champions League, we're on a 13-game unbeaten streak right now in all competitions, our longest ever, I should say, unbeaten streak with Milan so far since taking over. So coming to the game, really looking forward to this one. With all due respect to Sevilla, when I saw this draw, I was really looking forward to it because they're not a bad side at all, the Spanish team, but I definitely would be fancying our chances. So coming into the game, you saw the lineup as well. There were loads and loads and loads of changes being made to the first 11, as I really did fancy our chances of getting through. But overconfidence is a real thing in football, and in this game, it was looking like that would be the case because just 15 minutes in, Sevilla would open the scoring through Alvaro Morata. They had the first two chances of the game. Morata had the second one, his header going just wide of the post. But in this phase of play here, he plays a 1-2 of Ava Banega, receives the ball inside the penalty area, and the former Juventus and Real Madrid striker, Real Madrid striker, makes it Milan 0, Sevilla 1. So Sevilla opening the scoring here through Morata, the Spanish striker, giving the away side a crucial away goal early on. We would respond though in the 32nd minute. Jose Mari with the goal, and the midfielder signed a new contract in January or December, actually I think it might have been, and this is why I really do rate the guy. Gave him a start in this game. He's 76 overall, only 23 years old, plays a 1-2 with Lacadia and rifles the ball into the back of the net to make it Milan 1, Sevilla 1. So back on level terms here, equalising through the number 4. Really pleased with that after a disappointing start to the game, and a few minutes later we had a chance to take the lead for the first time. Ryan Thaler cutting inside and going for goal, but Kevin Drapp, the German goalkeeper, makes a really good save and turns it behind for a corner. So still 1-1. And at the break, as you can see, Sevilla had more possession and a higher pass accuracy as per usual. But I thought the game was quite balanced, to be honest. After a slow start, we really did get back into the game. But 4 minutes after the restart, unfortunately for us, Jeremy Djokovic would concede for the second time in the game, and Vitolo would fire Sevilla back in front. So Djokovic, of course, since coming in on deadline day, hadn't conceded a single goal in a Milan jersey. Now 2 in the same game. Vitolo with a strike in at the near post. Can't blame the Canadian for either goal, but either way, a new signing with 6 clean sheets in a row, 0 goals conceded, now 2 in the same game, and it's Milan 1, Sevilla 2 as the wayside retake the lead. In the 59th minute here, Ryan Thaler's strike from distance was well saved by Kevin Trapp and turned behind for a corner, and it was also how the game would finish as well. Final score, Milan 1, Sevilla 2. That final chance falling to Ryan Thaler 30 minutes before the end. Couldn't carve out any more notable ones after that, and we would lose the game by 2-1, and our 13-game unbeaten streak does end there. So really disappointed about that loss because it's crazy, but it truly is the sign of overconfidence, really. Coming into the game, this is the Champions League, and I've said before, I don't fancy our chances of winning it, but it's the round of 16, it's the first leg at the San Siro, we're on a really good unbeaten streak right now. It was a big game for us, and I decided to make so many changes coming to that game, because I was thinking to myself, yeah, Sevilla, we can definitely beat them. Well, obviously it's not going to be that easy, is it? Because they've got through their group top of it, because we finished in second, and that's why we faced them, and I didn't consider that at all. I just kept on thinking to myself, we spent over £70 million in total, over £80 million in total in 2 transfer windows. We've got a good side right now. We can beat Sevilla, surely. Well, no, it's not going to be that easy, is it? If they were top of their group in the Champions League. So, really disappointed about that loss, but again, only myself to blame for that one. We had some chances, didn't take them. Kevin Trapp did play quite well in all fairness, but either way, not a good enough performance. We do lose again after that 13-game unbeaten streak. And Djokovic as well, 6 clean sheets in a row, and 7 clean sheets in a row in all competitions for all of our goalkeepers. So to be beaten twice in the same game as well, at home too, not good to see. But still, following out, look at the squad report here, and also the league table as well. 12 games to go in the Serie A. We are 8 points clear of Inter, and of course do have the better head-to-head record as well. I think Roma and Juventus could potentially get back in the title race, but it's a big ask for them, and I think it'll be won by either one of the land sides come the end of the season. Also in the TIM Cup, or the Coppa Italia, of course we're on to the semi-finals. We'll be taking on Hellas Verona over 2 legs. And in the Champions League, of course, you can see there in the round of 16, losing the first leg by 2-1 against the Spanish side Sevilla. Not good to see. So coming to this game here against Frosinone, after seeing us lose there for the first time in a long time, desperate to bounce back to winning ways here, taking on the side currently sitting in 19th place right now, firmly in the relegation zone. But just because that's the case, I was going to take no chances coming into this game on the back of that defeat to Sevilla. I would return to my strongest first 11 lineup, because the fact of the matter is, after that defeat to Sevilla, I was thinking to myself, if I show any more opponents disrespect by fielding weakened sides, they'll probably beat us. And I was not prepared to have 2 defeats at the San Siro in a row. But the first chance would fall to the away side as well, sensing blood after that defeat to Sevilla in the last game. It was a good strike, but Djokovic made a good save and it was still 0-0. And in the 90th minute, he had another good chance to open the scoring, but once again, Djokovic comes out of his goal, meets his man, and makes another good save. So 2 impressive stops by our Canadian shot stopper early on in the game. And at the break, as you could see, it was still Milan 0, Frosinone 0, and the away side had played better in the first half. And in the second half, just before the hour mark, he had another good chance to make it 1-0 and take a shock lead here at the San Siro. But once again, we are calling upon the services of Jeremy Djokovic, who after this save puts his hands on his head in realization and thinks to himself, why have I joined Milan? Their defenders are terrible and I'm having to do everything here. But it was still Milan 0, Frosinone in Frosinone 0 in this game. One of our final chances and only real chances of the game as well would fall in the 74th minute. Mitov Nielsen, Ibra's regen, cutting inside from the left-hand side off the bench and going for goal, but dragging the shot wide, the post and behind for a goal kick. And the final chance would fall to Frosinone in the 90th minute, desperate to nick all 3 points in this game and claim a priceless win. But thankfully his header went over the bar and behind for a goal kick, and it was how the game would finish as well. Final score here at the San Siro, Milan 0, Frosinone 0. And I'm glad to be back amongst the clean sheets, and I'm sure Djokovic is as well. But the fact of the matter is, a goalless draw against Frosinone at home, who are currently sitting in 19th place, that is not good enough. And on the back of a 13-game unbeaten streak, to have a defeat to Sevilla at home and then a goalless draw against Frosinone at home, just not good enough. And it's made me realise that one gotta go out of these 3 competitions right now. One of these competitions has to be sacrificed in order for us to win some silverware, because you could say realistically, we could win all 3 trophies. The Serie A, we're still top of the table despite that draw. The TIM Cup as well, which is our 3rd game of today's episode against the Hellas Verona, and also the Champions League as well. We could still turn it around against Sevilla, but I think one of these trophies has to be sacrificed in order to try and get some silverware come the end of the season, because otherwise, we're going to be continuously playing our first 11 in every single game, burning all the players out for stamina, and not being able to perform to our maximum ability in every single game we play. So I think one of these competitions right now, the Serie A, the TIM Cup or the Champions League, has to be sacrificed in order for us to have the best chance possible of winning as many trophies come the end of the season, as crazy as that sounds. But anyway, taking on Hellas Verona here for the 3rd and final game of today's episode in the Coppa Italia semi-final first leg at the San Siro. We would make 11 changes to the side and field a weakened side for this game, so I was thinking to myself, if I am going to sacrifice one competition, let's be honest here, the TIM Cup would be the less reputable of all 3. But coming into this game here, you may have noticed that my goalkeeper was Donaskim Mento, a Brazilian new-gen / regen, and is our 3rd choice goalkeeper as well. Now, of course, Gabriel played in the last round and also was the hero in the penalty shootout as well. So you're probably wondering why I chose this guy to play in goal. Was it tactical? Was there any injury problems to Gabriel we didn't know about? Well, no, it was accidental. I put Donaskim Mento in the first team lineup when I was changing Djokovic out of it, and forgot to put Gabriel in the first 11 and instead left him on the bench. So coming into the game, I made a silly error, and it almost cost me as well, as he made a terrible challenge there, almost got himself sent off too after he came flying out of his goal, but in the end got a booking and then made a great save from the follow-up free kick. But it was still 0-0 in this game, and it wasn't until the 82nd minute as well, barely anything was happening in the second half until Mikel Marino here took down his man inside the area, and we won ourselves a penalty late on in the game. Mitov Nielsen, Ibra's regen here, charged forward, was taken down after getting himself inside the area, and the referee did indeed correctly give a penalty and a chance for us to win the game late on. And this was such a poor game as well. Only 2 real chances in the first half, and until this point as well, only 2 real chances in the game until we won this penalty. Jurgen Lacadia stood up to take it, and it's been a very long time since this guy's found the back of the net. He had a goal taken away from him recently, which went down as an own goal to Engels, but in this game here, he stood up to take the penalty. He said, I want to find the back of the net again and be credited with a goal. He's not going to get this one taken away from him. He sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, and in the TIM Cup semi-final first leg, in a terrible game against Hellas Verona, we do come through with the win by a 1-0. So we fielded a weakened side coming into this game. I was thinking to myself, we're going to sacrifice one trophy. I'd rather it be the TIM Cup, to be honest. I'd rather try and win the league and the Champions League together. But we do get to win the first leg anyway by a 0-0. It wasn't comfortable and it wasn't pretty, that's for sure, winning it by a late penalty after there being, very few chances in the entire game, really. But we came through to win. That's the most important thing. And going into the second leg in Verona, hopefully, we'll be able to hold on to that lead or add to it as well. well and get ourselves through to the TIM Cup final, even though it is considered our lowest priority out of all three competitions we are going for right now. But it is going to be today's episode of Career Mode though, guys, so thank you very much for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed today's episode of Career Mode, then please do consider leaving a like, so it's of course much appreciated, and it really does help my channel out, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.